Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Neville, and I want to talk to you about one of the more common questions that I get from my patients on a pretty regular basis. It's about coffee. Now, we all love coffee, right? I love coffee even. I went to med school out in Seattle, and I'll tell you, we drink a lot of coffee out there for sure. And coffee's okay, right? As a beverage, right? The big thing about the coffee is caffeine. So I tell patients it's not the coffee that's really the problem. It's actually the need for the coffee, right? So that's kind of the bigger issue. And if you think about it from a more global perspective, if you need coffee to get through your day, your life is outpacing your capacity to live it. And that's a problem that you should probably take a look at. But let's talk about coffee itself, right? So the issue with coffee is the caffeine. It's the half-life of caffeine. So the half-life of caffeine, how long does the liver take to process out half of that caffeine, is 7 hours for coffee. So you drink 1 cup of coffee in the morning, 7 hours later, there's a half a cup of coffee still in your body, caffeine. 7 hours later, again, there's a 1/4 cup of coffee still in your body, caffeine, and it's bedtime. Right, so that's kind of the problem. So what I tell patients, in any of my patients that if you got problems sleeping, if you're wound a little too tight, running on adrenaline a little too much, a little wired, a little anxious, palpitations, things like that, you should really do what you can to minimize caffeine. And that means, you can go to half calf, see how that treats you, go to full decaf. A better option is maybe go to some of the alternatives, right? I tend to be a pretty big tea drinker. I like the whole idea of tea as a ritual in general, because to me, I tell patients that tea is an act of self-love, right? Because it's slow. You have to be really deliberate with this tea thing, right? You've got to, you boil the water, that takes time. And then you've got to get the cup and the mug, and then you pour the water over the tea bag, and now that takes time to steep, right? So it's this whole kind of process that I feel we're giving to ourselves. So teas, herbal teas, green tea especially, which is a bit of an acquired taste, right? But green tea is one of the healthiest things we can actually consume. There's another, there's a lot of coffee alternatives. The best one that I've discovered is actually something called Dandy Blend, which is basically, you can treat it like coffee, but it's dandelion root. And believe it or not, it actually has a similar flavor to coffee. So if you close your eyes and you just drink this, you can actually convince yourself that it's coffee. Warm drinks in general are great. And that's why it's in the winter nowadays, and I like these things in the morning. I'll generally do decaf or half calf, Dandy Blend, but one of my favorite go-tos is green tea. All my best.